Hello all of you beautiful people, Jules here for WhatCulture.com. And when it comes to comic books, the one thing above all else that we know about Thor, outside of his outstandingly luscious hair and his propensity to talketh like this, is the fact that he's lugging around something that B&Q would be afraid to sell in the form of Mjolnir, the majestical and magic hammer of the gods. This one item allows him to focus all of his powers and also knock a few blocks off enemies in the process. And when you see Thor's mallet leveling mountains or shattering asteroids to atoms, it's easy to assume that it's indestructible, right? Unfortunately, even Mjolnir has its limits. So let's take a look at them today. As I'm Jules, this is WhatCulture.com, and these are 10 characters who broke Thor's hammer. Number 10, the Destroyer. Journey into Mystery number 118. When Odin the Allfather discovered the Celestials intended to cut off Asgard's pathway to Earth, he realized that he needed a champion that could stand against them. Since there was no one strong enough within the Asgardian pantheon, Odin created a mystical armor from the strongest material in existence and endowed it with as much godly energy that he could spare. The armor, known as the Destroyer, was stored in a vault, ready to be activated upon the Celestials' return. But when Thor's wicked stepbrother Loki discovered the vault, the god of mischief awakened the Destroyer, believing that it could defeat Thor. The Thunder god fought valiantly against his father's great weapon, but even the god of thunder was no match against this awesome automaton. After the enchanted armor sliced Mjolnir in two, Thor acknowledged that he was not strong enough to best his opponent. Luckily, Odin collapsed the vault that the Destroyer was stored in, burying the enchanted armor in rubble forevermore. Number 9. Molecule Man. Avengers number 215. After being exposed to a particle generator, Owen Reese learned that he could control matter on an atomic level. Using a special wand as a conduit to harness his power, Reese became the supervillain known as Molecule Man. But in Avengers number 215, Molecule Man learned how to use his abilities without relying on a conduit, magnifying his strength to an almost infinite level. To showcase his might, the matter-controlling menace decided to destroy the entire world. Not sure where he would live after that, but I'm not going to question him. And when the Avengers learned of Reese's plan, they tracked the deranged criminal down and tried to stop him. With a wave of his hands, Molecule Man disintegrated Thor's hammer as well as Captain America's shield, Iron Man's armor, and Silver Surfer's surfboard. Even though the hero's equipment was repaired in the following issue, this was pretty mind-blowing for readers. Molecule Man had never used his powers on this level before, nor had anyone ever destroyed Mjolnir or Cap's shield so effortlessly. As a result, this panel has become one of the most iconic moments in Marvel Comics. Number 8. Exeter. Thor number 388. After the Celestials concluded that the Earth was a little bit rubbish, they ordered their executioner, Exeter, to obliterate the world. Since Thor had vanquished countless tyrants in the past, he assumed that Exeter would pose little threat. Only when Thor saw Exeter in the flesh did the Prince of Asgard consider his rival might be beyond him. Standing over 3 miles tall, the Great Celestial was one of the most intimidating foes the Nordic warrior had ever faced. Not being one to back down for a fight though, Thor struck Exeter with a blow so mighty its reverberations were felt across the globe, and the shockwaves toppled every mountaintop in the vicinity. When Thor realized that his attack was only strong enough to crack Exeter's armor, he dove inside, believing that he could destroy the entity from within. After locating the divine being's membrane, Thor used Mjolnir to unleash an almighty energy beam called the God Blast. Although the blow successfully destroyed Exeter, the energies of the God Blast were so intense that it caused Mjolnir to crumble in Thor's hands. Number 7. Pericus. Thor Volume 2, number 10. So when Thor was still a child, Odin sent his scout, Longcar, to explore uncharted regions of the universe. During his travels, Longcar discovered Narcisson, a realm populated by an inverted version of the Asgardians called Dark Gods. After Longcar killed the wife of Narcisson's leader, Pericus, the Dark Gods vowed to never rest until Asgard was reduced to nothing. Unable to defeat Narcisson's foes, Odin had Pericus sealed away in a remote section of the cosmos. When he finally broke free, his forces invaded Asgard and had Odin imprisoned. By the time that Thor learned of Pericus' invasion, the Dark God had already seized the entire realm. Thor attempted to make short work of the tyrant by hitting him with Mjolnir's God Blast. Not only did the attack have little effect on him, but he sliced Thor's hammer in two with his scythe. Ironically, losing Mjolnir helped save Thor's life. During this time, Thor changed into a human called Jake Olsen when he wasn't holding the hammer. When Mjolnir was destroyed, Thor reverted into his human form, giving Pericus the false impression that the Thunder God had fled. This gave Thor just enough time to form a plan of attack to defeat the Dark Gods. Number 6. Loki. Thor Volume 2, number 80. For the longest time, Thor's stepbrother and the self-proclaimed Prince of Lies, Loki, coveted his sibling's legendary mallet, but because of the enchantment that Odin placed on Mjolnir, it was impossible for the trickster to wield the sacred weapon. So that's why Loki formulated a new plan. If he couldn't use Thor's hammer, he would just wield a different one. After locating the mold that Mjolnir was forged from, he had the fire deity Surtur create multiple Mjolnirs. Since no enchantment had been placed on these mallets, Loki and his minions were able to wield them effortlessly. Armed with his own godly weapons, Loki, along with his pack of fiends, ambushed Thor and his allies. During the battle, Loki's cohorts killed Amora the Enchantress, which caused Thor to go into a mindless rage. As he launched himself at the group, all of their hammers collided. The godlike energies that spilled from the weapons caused a cataclysmic explosion, decimating the area. When the dust settled, Thor saw that his enemies were defeated, but unfortunately the explosion also resulted in the destruction of Mjolnir. Number 5. Bor. Thor number 600. In Thor number 600, Loki bewitched Thor's grandfather, Bor, compelling him to see everyone as a threat. Believing that he was surrounded by enemies, the first king of Asgard invaded the city, attacking everyone that crossed his path. When Thor learned of Bor's rampage, he attempted to pacify him, unaware of his true identity. Even though the Norse champion remained calm during their confrontation, Loki's magic urged Bor to attack his grandson. Thor hoped to end the battle quickly by hurling Mjolnir at his opponent, but because Bor was worthy of Mjolnir's power, he was able to catch the enchanted hammer, and due to his bewitchment, Bor didn't realize that he was holding the great weapon of Asgard and thus just simply tossed it away. As Bor's madness intensified, Thor realized that he was preparing to destroy the entire world. Left with no choice, the god of lightning struck Bor with Mjolnir, cracking his hammer in half. Only after the battle concluded did Thor realize that the god that he had just faced and killed was his own flesh and blood. Although he was upset that Mjolnir had been destroyed, he was utterly heartbroken to learn that he had murdered his own grandfather. Number 4. The Silver Surfer. Marvel Zombies number 3. In a parallel universe, the world was infected by a virus, turning almost everyone into zombies. Within a few weeks, nearly every super being on Earth, including the Avengers, the Fantastic Four, and the X-Men, had been transformed into undead creatures. Worse still, 99.9% of humanity was eaten within several months, causing the zombies to run out of food. At the exact same time, the Herald of Galactus, the Silver Surfer, entered the Earth's atmosphere to announce his master was preparing to consume their planet. The zombies saw the Silver Surfer as their next meal and so began attacking him. Despite being drastically outnumbered, the Herald was able to hold his own since the zombies couldn't bite through his impenetrable skin. Even though victory was near for the Silver Surfer, Thor managed to turn the tables by smashing his face in with Mjolnir. Despite the fact that the collision caused the hammer to shatter to pieces, it was worth the effort though, since it caused Galactus' henchmen to plummet to the ground, and before he had a chance to counterattack, the Hulk bit the Silver Surfer's head off, killing him instantly. Number 3. Hulk. Fear itself, Hulk vs. Dracula, number 3. The Incredible Hulk's strength is pretty legendary, not just on Earth, but across the entire cosmos. In his many adventures, he's cracked Manhattan in half with a single step, lifted a 150 million ton mountain, and destroyed a planet with a single punch. But for all of his might, there is one feat the Jade Giant has yet to accomplish. He has never destroyed Thor's hammer. However, he has destroyed a hammer which was just as powerful as Mjolnir, if not more so. After Thor's uncle Kull bestowed Hulk with an enchanted mallet, the green Goliath was corrupted by its magic, turning him into an acolyte of evil. While Thor tried to knock some sense into the Hulk, the green-skinned Avenger was hurled into Dracula's castle. As he laid waste to the Transylvanian Count's domain, a shapeshifter attempted to seduce Hulk by taking the form of Bruce Banner's wife, Betty Ross. As he gazed at his one true love, Hulk momentarily regained control of his mind. Before the dark magic had a chance to place him under Kull's thrall once more, Hulk smashed the hammer to dust with his bare hands. Number 2. Mangog. Mighty Thor number 701. Because the Mangog has the power of a billion beings from a million worlds, it's safe to say that this monstrous beast is one of Thor's most daunting foes. But after Thor was found unworthy of Mjolnir's power, he was unable to protect his people after the Mangog invaded Asgard. As a result, another Asgardian, Volstagg, challenged the Mangog in Thor's stead. Wielding a Mjolnir from a different universe, Volstagg transformed into War Thor, a being the Asgardians believed was strong enough to stand against the monstrous invader. Sadly, War Thor realized his opponent was out of his league immediately after the battle began. As he threw Mjolnir at the Mangog, the dreaded Titan hurled the hammer right back, smashing Volstagg to the ground. Refusing to give up, the rotund warrior hit the Mangog with an almighty lightning bolt. Apart from some chipped teeth, the ogre walked away completely unscathed and continued to dominate the fight. Even though Volstagg had never fought more bravely, he was easily subdued by the wicked creature. As an act of triumph, the Mangog crushed Mjolnir before leaving Volstagg Volstagg to die. And number 1, Jane Foster, Mighty Thor number 705. After the Mangog vanquished War Thor and destroyed his hammer, he made his way towards Asgard, ready to end Thor's people once and for all. Little did he know that the Heavenly Kingdom was safeguarded by the new Thor, Jane Foster. Armed with her own Mjolnir, Jane unleashed an onslaught of attacks against the relentless brute. Realizing that the Mangog couldn't be bested by raw power alone, Jane attempted to hurl the crazed ogre into the sun. When the Mangog fought back, Jane bound him in the chains that sealed away Fenris the wolf beast, who was an ancient enemy of Asgard. As the Mangog tried to wrestle out of his restraints, Jane tied Mjolnir to one of the chains before hurling it into the heart of the sun. And because the star's core is 15 million degrees Celsius, give or take, the Mangog was incinerated to ash. Sadly, Mjolnir couldn't withstand the sun's heat and burned to nothing. Although Jane lost her hammer, she had bested the godlike beast, saved the people of Asgard, and proved herself to be a true champion to everyone. And there we go, my friends. Those were 10 characters who broke Thor's hammer. Hope you enjoyed that, and please let me know what you thought about it down in the comments section below. As always, I've been Jules, so you can go follow me over on Twitter at RetroJ with a 0, or you can swing by Live and Let's Dice, that's Dice with a C, where I do all of my streaming and Warhammer battle reports outside of work, and it'd be great to see you over there. Just want to say before I go, treat yourself with love and respect, because you goddamn well deserve the best things in life, my friend. Yes, you do, and do not let anything or anyone else tell you otherwise, alright? You're a massive ledge. Now go out there and smash your life goals today. I believe in you. As always, I've been Jules. You have been awesome. Never forget that. I'll speak to you soon. Bye.